Good day, this is Dean Hill, the independent candidate for United States Senator of Tennessee. And today we're going to discuss legalization of marijuana. Now, remember when I told you that the Democratic and Republican Party aren't working for us? The government itself isn't working for us on this. They have put marijuana as a Schedule I drug. Now, a Schedule I drug is defined by the government as drugs with no currently accepted medical use and high potential for abuse. Schedule I drugs are the most dangerous drugs of all the schedules with potential severe psychological or physical dependence. So I'm going to stop there and give you some of my background. I have a degree in psychology. I was working on a master's in quantitative psychology when I had to leave school to take care of my family. I also have had 2 minors and I was pre-med. I've lived in Europe for 3 years and I also lived in Mexico for a time. So I've been around and seen things. Now, it's interesting to me that marijuana would be above, I'll just name some of the Schedule IIs, oxycodone, oxycodone. What else do they have here in Schedule II? Opioids. And then alcohol's not even in Schedule II. Alcohol, anybody in the psychological medical profession would tell you that alcohol is the worst drug to get off of. You get DTs and you're lucky if you don't die. Okay, so to put heroin on the level with pot is very interesting to me. It reminds me of the old video, if you've seen it, where the guy plays the piano and somebody gives him some pot. And then he freaks out and tries to kill everybody in the room. They either subdue him or something goes on. And that was how they used to scare people for pot. Now, we have this drug on Schedule I with LSD. Opioid deaths decreased by 6% in Colorado when they introduced legal marijuana. In fact, 61% or more of the population of America believes that marijuana should just be legalized, period. 94% at least believe that it should be legalized for medicinal purposes. Now, the government will find their doctors who will say, there's no medicinal purpose, we can't prove that. I guarantee you can find many doctors and psychologists that'll tell you the proofs. I've seen them myself. Epilepsy, glaucoma, syndromes in children, epilepsy in older people, hunters. There's been new information that came out on Huntington's disease. There's so many things that it can cure. Now, so you have to start asking yourself, why would they do this? Okay, why wouldn't they take it off of Schedule I? For one, opioids, or if we want to talk about, let's pick one to talk about heroin. I have some ex-military friends and some people in the civilian world who were addicted to heroin and somehow got off. I mean, to me, those people are superheroes. You ask them if they can pick up some pot, smoke it, and put it down, and then ask them how it was to quit heroin. It's a ridiculous difference. However, one at least of the people that I'm running against, Marsha Blackburn, helped push a law through the House and the Senate for the big pharma companies, which I've talked about before, to get their drugs out there, opioids. Now everybody's on the opioid train because they're realizing people are dying and getting addicted. Well, what that law that they pushed through helped with was once the opioids get sent out, or the drugs, oxycodone, whatever, get sent out, mailed out to the companies, there's really no way to trace them. So in your small communities in Tennessee where you're already having problems with drugs, they want to call them doctor's offices sprout up, and you go in and you have a pain in your leg, they'll give you those drugs. You can run out the door with those drugs, and nobody can track it. If those drugs go missing, or they decide just to sell them as drugs on the street, simple, they can do it because nobody can track the drugs. That's why people are so mad about that. Now with marijuana, how are they going to line their pockets? Many people can grow marijuana just about anywhere. So they can tax it, but then they have to come down hard on people growing it illegally. About the only great argument I've heard for marijuana was children under 18 that smoked it profusely. Their hippocampus started getting a curve in it instead of being straight. Now, of course, if you introduce a law, you would have age limits. It's not good to do anything at 14, 15, 16. Weightlifting, you should wait. Drinking, yes. You shouldn't be getting drunk at that age. That's going to definitely affect you. So you shouldn't be smoking pot either. There's many reasons you would not do that. One thing that's always bugged me about this is they're so scared of it that even hemp was a big, big Southern moneymaker. And people had jobs and people were making money, selling it for boats, ropes, everything. The oil of hemp, that got cut out. Hemp is not even, you cannot get high off on it, cannot get high on it like you can cannabis, marijuana. It's a different plant. You know, I came from a farming background and I understand one plant can be completely different from another, although it's from the same line. And that's what happened there. So that's a whole industry itself that would grow. There are many things you can make with hemp. I believe people have ever made a bulletproof Kevlar type things with hemp, but then can't do it legally because it's illegal. It's a Schedule I drug. Let's think of what would happen if it were legalized. Revenue would go up. Any state deficit would be paid off immediately. It basically happened in Colorado. Now they try to scare you with saying how all the deadbeats will come in and want to smoke the pot and all that. Well, now that other states have done it first, they're more prepared to sell it to those people. We'd be picking up from scratch, and we wouldn't even have it ready yet. So now we're not the first one, so that's not really going to happen. But jobs, it would give so many jobs. That's about it. I've really researched and thought about it, and I just can't find real reasons that we would not legalize marijuana. So if you're interested in that, vote Dean Hill in the U.S. Tennessee race. Always look forward to your feedback at Garland Dean Hill U.S. Senate TN @gmail.com.